Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and metalheads of the world. My name is Sam, and today I'm going to give you some pro tips on making healthy decisions while attending your first heavy metal concert. You are about to embark on a journey in your life that you will never forget, and with my tips and suggestions, you will be able to experience an awesome concert event while remaining in one piece. Heavy metal concerts are a unique experience that allow for the audience to get physical and release all their energy while listening to their favorite bands. These concerts are like no other, and they are non-stop adrenaline rushes for 3 hours while you headbang and rock out to your favorite songs. Throughout this podcast, I will explain some of the health hazards that are present at every metal concert, and I will provide some important information and personal stories that will help you stay healthy. After all, heavy metal music preaches chaos and rebellion, and I want you to have a kick-butt time while also keeping your health as your main priority. Without further ado, let's get started. As a man who has gone to heavy metal concerts for the past 5 years, dehydration is without a doubt the most common health issue that I see people struggling with at heavy metal concerts. It's amazing to see so many people neglect to drink a liquid that makes up 70% of their body weight. Heavy metal concerts are 2-hour workouts that are often held in either hot indoor arenas or in stadiums on warm afternoons and nights, and this physical activity will drain you of your energy in the blink of an eye. Therefore, it is essential when you go to your first concert that you hydrate early and often to avoid dehydration and some of the illnesses that are associated with it. Some basic tips to keep you healthy, active, and happy are really common sense that can be left behind when you're busy kicking butt in the pit. The first and most important tip is to bring some money for water. You should have at least $15 for water when you go to the bars because a cup or bottle will easily cost you upwards of $7 per drink. Also keep in mind that there will be no water fountains or sinks that are sanitary to refill your bottle or cup, so extra cash is very important. The second tip I have for you is to take an occasional break from the pit. Your body is going to have a chance to recuperate for the next session of moshing, and it gives you a chance to rehydrate. The best time to do this is when a song you may not care for as much as the others is playing. This will reduce the wait time at the bar for another drink. Finally, use common sense if you are suspecting that you are experiencing symptoms of heat illness. There are multiple first aid stations at the concert venues, and the people attending them will be more than happy to care for you. So the next time you start seeing stars that aren't the ones on stage, you should go to the aid station and get some water. The next health hazards that I'm going to talk about are marijuana and alcohol. In my past experiences at metal concerts, marijuana and alcoholic beverages seem to be everywhere. The aroma of metal concerts consists of sweat, smoke, beer, and weed. No matter the morals and beliefs that you have on these substances, it's best that you partake in these substances with caution while you're at your first heavy metal concert. The first thing to keep in mind is that underage drinking or soliciting alcohol to a minor is a misdemeanor that can result in you paying a hefty fine or being arrested. Also, marijuana isn't legal in every state, so know your state's policy on weed before you plan on smoking it at the concert. Next, alcohol and weed can impair your thought process and can lead you to commit acts that may be indecent and unlawful. 0.08 is the legal limit of the blood alcohol concentration that you can have in the United States before being legally drunk. And the number of drinks can vary to get to this point depending on your body weight. Any number above 0.08 and you are legally intoxicated, and you can face prison time for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Not only are you endangering your health, but you're also endangering the health of others while operating a vehicle. If you find yourself or a friend in the early stages of alcohol poisoning, you should immediately go to an aid station for treatment and explain your actions truthfully for the best treatment and chance of survival. Your first heavy metal concert should be full of memories of awesome bands, mosh pits, and meeting fellow metalheads. So try to avoid the beer and weed for one night and enjoy the music. One thing that makes heavy metal concerts so awesome and unique is the loud nature of the music blaring from the speakers. To feel and hear the power of a band live is amazing, and these effects are what give the heavy aspect to their music. Unfortunately, the sound intensity of these concerts can have a severe impact on the audience's sense of hearing. Heavy metal concerts produce an average decibel level of 130 decibels. To put this into perspective, a jet airplane taking off from an aircraft carrier with its afterburners engaged is measured at 150 decibels. So even after a few songs, your ears are going to start ringing. This ringing is called tinnitus, and this is a symptom related to hearing loss. Speaking from personal experience, I had continuous tinnitus for 12 hours following a 4-hour concert headlined by Lamb of God. While tinnitus usually goes away after a few hours, long-term exposure to damaging levels of sound can greatly increase the probability of long-term hearing loss. Now, the easiest method to combat the damaging sound produced by a heavy metal concert is by bringing a set of earplugs. You may be thinking to yourself, won't earplugs ruin the experience? The answer is a resounding no. Earplugs dampen the intensity level of the band and will protect your eardrums from being severely damaged without ruining the experience. My hope is that your first metal concert will be the first of many, so do yourself a favor and pack some earplugs. Your ears will thank you. My favorite part of any heavy metal concert that I have attended over the years has got to be the mosh pits. Mosh pits are a form of physical dancing where the moshers bang and push into each other while running through the pit and headbanging along to their favorite band. There are a few types of mosh pits you can expect to see when you go to your first heavy metal concert. The most common pit you'll probably encounter is a standard push pit, where the people slam and push into each other, but the injury rate is relatively low. The most common injuries you can expect to see from this pit are a few scrapes and bruises, but that's inevitable at any heavy metal concert you go to. There is a type of pit, however, that can result in serious injuries and trips to the hospital if you aren't careful when you partake of this bloodbath. This, my friends, is the Wall of Death. This pit is deserving of its name because the Wall of Death involves the pit separating into two sides, and at the vocalist's command, the moshers run full speed towards the middle and try to knock down the person charging across from them. This is where you can see people get their noses broken, receive concussions, get trampled, and even knocked out. While it's extremely uncommon to see or hear the news of an actual death as a direct result of a mosh pit, it still has to be in the back of your mind, because people often fall and get trampled in mosh pits. Now, there are many ways to avoid injury in a mosh pit and still have a great time. The first tip I have for you is to know the rules of the pit. The rules follow as such: no fighting, if you knock someone down, pick them up, no pushing or touching people inappropriately, and no kicking. The next tip I have for you is regarding the pit, is if you aren't part of the pit, stay as far away as possible, because people on the outside of the pit get injured at a high rate. At one of the concerts I attended, a man from the pit was pushed into my knee and it buckled when I sprained my MCL. The last tip I have for you to remain healthy in the pit is that I recommend not being a part of the Wall of Death. If you do choose to partake, stay towards the back of the charging line so you won't get hit or trampled. Emergency action plans are essential in our everyday lives, but they're especially important when you go to a mass gathering like a heavy metal concert. Know this: your health and life should be your number one priority to protect. So if disaster is about to strike, you need to do everything in your power to avoid becoming a statistic. Sadly, there have been many recent concert tragedies in the past decade that have come from the acts of terror, and many people have died. The most infamous tragedy occurred only 2 years ago at the Jason Aldean concert in Las Vegas, Nevada, where Stephen Paddock opened fire on an unsuspecting audience, killing 59 people and injuring over 500. It shouldn't matter that it was a country concert. What matters is there are psychopaths in this world that want to harm others, and a concert is a prime target for an attack. Here are some tips on surviving a terror attack if one were to ever happen at a heavy metal concert. First, scout the venue out for exits and stand relatively close to one during the concert. Next, if you see suspicious activity or suspect an imminent attack, notify the police or security and make your way towards the exit. Finally, should an attack occur, fight towards an exit or a safe place of shelter and keep your head down, but keep moving away from the danger. The next emergency you should be prepared for is a fire or weather emergency. A fire in a theater or an arena is a serious threat to your health, given that it can spread very quickly. The best thing that you can do is to know where the exits are and move to them immediately. To avoid being trampled, make sure that you are assertive and move fast, because the entire venue will likely become a dangerous stampede. Finally, if a weather emergency were to occur at your concert, listen to the PA system and follow the directions given by the speaker. Don't stay in any place that could pose a threat to your health, and lastly, remain calm. Having a plan for the worst case scenario can increase your chances of survival significantly. I hope you all enjoyed this fun and informative podcast, and I hope your first metal concert will be an awesome one. Thank you, and rock on!